Hey there. So in the last video, we looked at how to find the maximum value in a list. And in this video, I'm going to walk through the code that will find the minimum value in a list. So again, in these examples, I'm using these kind of made up lists that I'm creating right here in the code. When you're working with Colab, you're going to be, or with your CSV data, right? You're going to be, your list is made up of all the rows in Colab. So you're not going to have a sort of FACO list like this. You're going to have a list that contains real data. And so this is a good way, these algorithms are a good way to work on the code, but you're going to need to change some things around in order to work with like the real data that you're working with. Okay, so with that caveat aside, let's look at minimum value in a list. Well, we're going to follow the same basic approach that we followed for a maximum value in the list. And so let's start with a list. We'll do minimum values of scores. So who has the worst score? Again, there's an empty list, but I want to populate this list with some actual values. So we've got somebody got 400, somebody got 200, Smith got 10, somebody else got 350, and somebody else got 2. So let's find the minimum value in this list. And so we need to start off with like a value that's going to hold, just like we did before, hold the minimum, hold the minimum value. And we start off with, in this case, either the lowest possible value or the first value in the list. So I'm going to do this again using just the first value in the list. So we're going to take our first minimum value is the first value in the list. And then from there, we can go through each item in the list and ask, is this one smaller than the minimum that we've already seen in the list? And if it is smaller than what we've seen so far, then this value becomes the new minimum value. So here's how we do something like that. So for each item in scores, I could make this for score in scores. Let's do it like that. We'll ask, is this score? If score is less than the minimum. And if it is, this score becomes the new minimum. Think about how you'd write the line of code that says this score becomes the new minimum. Yeah, it would be something like min gets score. Min gets score. And that's it. This for loop will run this question on each item in the list, and the algorithm will end, the loop will end after the last item in the list, and min will hold the smallest score that we've found so far. So we can print min at that point, push the play button, see what we get, and we do see the 2. And this will work regardless of where we put the 2. So let's swap the 2 and the 200, and we'll see that we still get a 2 regardless of where that 2 occurs in the list. And of course, then you might want to do some F strings to print it in a nicer way. And you say lowest score is curly brace, something like that. There we go. There's our algorithm for finding the minimum value in a list.